Hello, and welcome to Intuitive Clarifications with Natasha. I'm here to assist you in your life's journey, and I'm so grateful to be here with you. And I hope that you are going through the full moon here okay, because it seems like we're one full moon, one new moon right after another, right? It's like it's energy is just like overwhelming us all the time. And that's why I wanted to keep talking about the energies that we're in because I want to support you in your life's journey. Hi, Kimberly. How are you doing? And so happy to be here on time. And it's like, you're so welcome. And so with that, it's like, I want you to remember your truth is your truth. I'm just here to bring in perspective. And I mean, it's like this new full moon with Libra is just so powerful. And I just was like so amazed at how things have been happening. And I know I went through something with my personal life here. Hello, Veronica. Going through things, and having to push the reset button in a thing that happened for my life. And it's like my husband's so wonderful to push that reset button over and over and over again with me. And I'm so grateful for that. So with we're all in the midst of these times, and it's like that reset button, we have to sometimes push that reset button for ourselves sometimes, when we're going through things and negotiating the life that we have and, negotiating the story that we are in, because, life is so full of ups and downs, ins and outs, and swimming through this and swimming through that. And, it's like the energies around us right now are so powerful. And, that's the thing that we really have to find is how do we find neutrality in ourselves? How to find centering in ourselves, even despite the outer world, right? That outer world of ours. And I know for me, it's like I live in the state of Washington where, laws are getting passed and more bills and more, this is going to be more and that's going to be more. And, I really wish that our government right now would take some of the tax off of the gas so that gas would come down 50 cents, right? Or 65 cents or whatever it is, because of the fact that, just give us grace during this peak of, of expenses and that kind of thing. But the thing is, though, government is government. And I always say to myself, hello, Paula, thank you for being here also. It's one of those things that, we're all in the midst of this story. And that's what I do when I am in the midst of thinking, can I afford this? Can I afford that? Because the outer world, right? And I keep putting prayers out there. I keep putting prayers out to where the negotiation can be. And that's the thing is that as we move into this story and into this negotiation, that we have to say, universe, I want to live where I want to live, where I want to be. And I always say to the universe around me, I need to be here. I need to be where I'm at, right? And so please make it palatable, make it work where I'm at, because I need to be able to negotiate the story of where I'm at, right? And it's one of those things. So when you're maneuvering into this world, you have to ask the universe, please make it palatable so I can do it. You need to give me the money so I can negotiate this. You need to give me the means to do what I'm doing, and call it in with empowerment, call it in with what you need. Because I know for me that usually when that happens, I get results from it. And like I wake up every morning saying, I'm in the frequency. I'm in the frequency of being of service. I'm in the frequency of abundance. I'm in the frequency of understanding. I'm in the frequency of that logistics. And I know I woke up at 2:40 this morning. Was it? No, 2:04 this morning, and I need to look that up because I was actually thinking about a classroom that's going through a lot of transition right now in our school, and I've been putting out prayers for it, and kind of doing this prayer because there's been a lot of things that have been happening repetitively in that classroom, and I've been asking the energies that whatever needs to happen, do it for their greater good, and anybody who needs to move out and move on for their greater good, have that happen. Right. And it's not that I'm wanting people to leave. I love the people that are there. But at the same time, though, that moving up and out needs to happen, especially for the person who's in charge. It's not moving out It's moving out of where they're at, moving out of the limited thoughts, moving out of the understanding, moving out of that self-punishment, out of their mental mind restriction, right? That and then moving up into their greater good, moving up into their higher knowing, moving up into, yeah, I need to change to make this work, right? So with that I'm doing this without judgment. But I was thinking of that in the middle of the night when I woke up at 2:04. And so, actually, I'm going to Google 2:04 right now. Um, I had something else that I was looking at, so I got to get that out of there. 2:04. Um, no, not the code. Time, spiritual meaning. Okay, so 2:04. So 2:04. Encouraging balance, stability, harmony in your life, urging you to maintain equilibrium in thoughts and relationships. So, signifies divine guidance in building a solid foundation, often representing a need for consistency and trust in your spiritual path, right? So, going into that, that is totally what I was praying for, right? That encouraging balance. That classroom is so out of balance, right? And that stability, adding stability in the teacher being able to teach, right? And then that harmony in your life because they're so out of harmony. And that's what I've been praying for, is that something greater happens. And at 11:11, as I was walking by the classroom, I was putting prayers out so that things can happen to their greater good, because this is kids that are involved. This is people that are involved. This is the system that's involved. So how can we negotiate this for the greater good? And sometimes, and these are examples of how I work with the outer world that's affecting my inner world. I put out prayers, I put out for the greater good. Now, I'm not right in what I was saying about up and out, right? But it's like when I know that sometimes I can't say the whole thing, but I know what my intention is behind it. And that's one thing that sometimes I, the human, don't want to limit what can happen in the greater good. And so going into this, that we're dealing with a lot of things going on in public, right? In that the government, we're dealing with a lot of things that are happening. And it's like now, what I'm hearing is that Russia is coming in for Cuba, but then Trump won't let anybody else in. And but why is he letting Russia in? And then here back in the 60s that Russia was coming in for Cuba, and it almost started World War III. So there's just some like things that just don't make sense, right? Things just don't make sense in this reality that's outer world. And it's not in the fifth dimension or the eighth dimension or the 15th dimension or whatever you want to say that dimension is, but it's out there negotiating our reality of a lighter, higher self. And so with that, when we are negotiating some of that outer world, remembering that, as a bird flies, right? A bird, it doesn't matter what bird. We've had eagle flying over our school area, that our city area. Who isn't that a statement of an eagle, right? A bald eagle. They're not bald, but the eagle, right? That getting the greater vision, getting the bigger, open up your wingspan and just relax, right? And so with that, but if you think about a bird, it doesn't matter if the wind is blowing or if it's calm, if it's on the ground or if it's in the air. It doesn't matter if it's at the top of the tree, but it's 99% always centered. It's always centered, right? So if it's in a windstorm, what does it do? It figures out how to negotiate where they're at. And remembering that centered is not always in the center. Center is where you meet yourself in, right? It means where you meet yourself. So you can be very tired. Where is centered in your tiredness? Where is centered in your higher energy self? Where is centered in your, I'm just going to make it today, right? Where is centered for you in that negotiation? Because right now we're being pelted by so much and our nervous system is so exhausted right now that it's hard for us to really negotiate a lot of things. Our vagus nerve is so like stressed out. Our emotions are stressed out. Our mind is so stressed out. But that's the thing, is a lot of the negative, the evil of this world, right, wants us to stay in that state of mind, wants us to stay in the state of exhaustion or overwhelm or tired or numbness, right? That numbing us down. It's like, well, somebody's crying again. Somebody's grieving again. Somebody is asking for money again. We're dumbing down, right? We're dumbing down. But one thing that I have to do sometimes is I have to remember not, when I'm kind of in that kind of, just sometimes I numb myself a little bit by just, scrolling on a certain platform, right? It doesn't matter if it's, it doesn't matter which platform you want to scroll on, but I have to remember sometimes I have to stop and heart it. And it's not necessarily that it's not about hearting it. It's about me noticing and giving it some love. That's all I'm considering, giving it, whatever it is that's happening, some love. Right? And it's not necessarily that it's wrong. And I try not to do it right at the beginning of the video. I try to do it a little bit more in, so that algorithm at least notices that I'm at least trying to send some love. Right? So with that, when we're in the outer world negotiating and witnessing people of the outer world, not everybody's in an alignment for love, peace, and joy, right? Not yet, because darkness wants to overtake the light, and light wants to overtake the darkness. But where is centered? Where are we centered? We need darkness in this world. We don't need evil, but we cannot understand darkness, because darkness isn't bad. Darkness is the night. Darkness is that energy. Like, I was watching this one video and he was saying, it's like you can have heat, but is fire and heat the same? No. But yes, it is. It's all one. It's he was talking about the soul and the spirit. Well, isn't the spirit the same as the whole soul, and the soul is the spirit? No, it's not, but yes, it is. It's kind of like, is light fire? No, but light is fire, right? And heat is not necessarily fire, but heat, it can be heat by itself, but it's fire and heat together. And that's what I've always understand, is that the spirit and the soul are one without being the same, because the soul is who we are, is our energy. The spirit is the energy, the flow, the emphasis, that meaning, the like, that's the spirit is that part of us when we're meditating together as one, the collective. We're in spirit together because our soul is getting the benefit of the spirit of the energy, right? And that's what we're feeling right now in the outer world, is a lot of times the spirit of the energy around us is picking up a lot on the toxic energy, and then it's bringing it back to ourselves, right? It's bringing it back to ourselves. And so how can we clean ourselves out, right? I can shake like a dog. I can smudge. I can clap. I can sit. I mean, I came in my car today after work, and I literally sat there for about 3 to 5 minutes before I started relaxing. I did a video on it today when I was doing it, and I almost felt myself going, coming down deeper, because I took my time to negotiate my energy that I was in. Today was an interesting day. I had to do, we were shorthanded. It was just an interesting negotiations, right? And interesting negotiations. And I was looking for blessings along the way, because I wasn't going to look at the negative. We cannot look for the negative, because we're going to find it, no matter if you see it or not. If it's there or not, we're going to always be able to see the negative, because that's where the mind goes, is where its intention is. So if your intention is always to see the negative, you're always going to see the negative. If you are negotiating with the positive, you're going to see the positive, and the negative is going to be in there. But when you're in the negative, it's seeing the negative, it's really hard to see the positive. So with that we can see things. Now, do a lot of prayers? Oh my gosh, because like the Gaza Strip, right? The Gaza Strip right now, I'm not trying to be political, but this is a perfect example. Okay. The Gaza Strip is literally living a total 3D reality right now of food, famine, negotiations, no homes, whatever it is, right? Somebody deeming that they are nothing compared to other people thinking that there's something, right? This is basically you are not important, which is sad, which is really sad because they are somebody. And it doesn't matter what religion we are under, it doesn't matter what your belief system is. We all matter. And that's the thing is that people think that I don't really believe in a higher power. I do. I really do. The thing is, though, as we're negotiating a world, when we're negotiating things, I'm not on the bandwagon of, oh, Jesus, oh, God, oh, you're all, it's no, it's like, it's a collective. It's all of us are good. All of us have that spark in us. And this is a short version of a long, huge belief system that I have. Okay, so if I'm saying just a few words, it's not meaning my whole language of what I believe in. I know that there's something greater out there. I know that there's something that can be. And that's what I believe in that can support. Because I can tell you, my marriage is not based on my husband and I's love. Because I know there's something greater out there that's keeping us together. I don't know how, but it is because they know we need to do the work we're doing. I can't explain it. I just know it. So with this, that as we're going forward, I believe in many things. I believe in the butterfly doing its work as much as I believe in the angels. So I believe in the collective. And that's the thing is the spirit of our world, the butterflies of our world, the angels of our world, the spirit of our world, the Mother Earth energy, whatever it is here to build our spirit up so that our soul can do the work that it needs to do. But the thing is, though, negativity can get onto that spirit realm just as much as it can get into us. And so remembering to use your skills of boundaries. I had a perfect boundary today or this week, and it was like, but it brought us to a better good. And so when you're going into this interesting negotiations and the interesting life that we're having, right? That it is about believing that we are for the greater good. I was listening to somebody, a friend of mine, thank you, Paula, sent me this video about how our souls walk, why we choose to be in this life. And actually, Paula, if you're still going to be on my show next week, I would love to talk about this because it is about those questions. Why am I here on this planet? Right? And this thing was like talking about these different stages and I don't know if it was AI that was doing it or this a voice that knew something, but he was adding us some negative context onto, yes, we go through these different stages of soul life, but I was talking to my soul at the same time I was listening to this video, and I didn't finish listening to the video because it had some negative condensation about or our conversation about why we choose to be on this planet. It's like we're brainwashed. Have you ever looked in the eyes of a baby when it's first born? It comes in knowing, oh my gosh, it is not brainwashed at all. But what we get is we get a life starting from the time we start hearing in our ears, even in womb, right? We start getting let's see, I don't want to say brainwashed, but we start getting deprogrammed. We start getting deprogrammed. That's a good word for it. We get deprogrammed from the spirit world of what we know that we've done in other lifetimes, right? We get deprogrammed because people don't know how to do better. I just had the opportunity of not being deprogrammed as much as a lot of other people, right? So my soul always stayed awake. And that's the thing, is my soul always said, yeah, that's not true. Or, yeah, that rings true. So when something rang true, I would know a little bit more of how to negotiate this. And I love how everybody's saying hello to everybody. Thank you. It's like we're all in the midst of being here for a specific reason. And that's to bring more love on this planet, because that's what our core self is. The thing is, though, the darkness that has been on this planet, the darkness that is arising right now, that is being uncloaked, has been in here for centuries and generations after generations after. I can't say enough generations, right? And in that generational walk, that we are finally on this planet breaking some of that old history out of its patterns, out of its negotiations. We're bringing light to that evil. I'm not going to say darkness, but light and love to that evil. And that's what needs cleaned out, is the evil, not darkness, the evil. And so the more that you send love and kindness someplace, that is on the spirit realm. That is the intentions of the spirit. So send the spirit of love around this earth. Send the spirit of consciousness and blessings and strength. Hi, Dina. All those things, right? Spread that out around the world. And that will bump up against some darkness and some evil. Yes, I felt that. It bumps up against it. Then walk around it, work around it. Don't limit yourself because you get bumped up against. Now, does that mean that you have to have boundaries when you send it out? Yes, it does. Because once you start sending out love, then things go, oh, there's somebody who we can get, right? So what do you do with boundaries? Well, do you see what's in that window? I have boundaries, right? I have boundaries. I have talismans, right? I have talismans. I have things. You see things in this window, right? Down below, I actually have a gargoyle that sits in that window too, that you can't necessarily see, right? I also have, this is my freaking house, with other words, right? I have, this is my freaking house, my walls, my property. You better stay the freaking out. Do you hear that energy? Right? I don't mess around with spirit. I don't mess around with spirit. Get the frick out. Unless you're here for the greater good or not. And I just felt the house kind of, because, like I said, we've been going through some stuff. So going into this, it's about, how do you negotiate the world around you? You are not the world outside of you. You are the world inside of you. You are your thoughts. You are your emotions. You are your story. Right? But your mind can have many thoughts that aren't yours. So ask them, why are you thinking this, mind? Why are you thinking these thoughts? Is this important to me? Not really. Have a conversation with that mind of yours. Your emotions have a little bit more validation, because that's from the nervous system. That's from the consciousness of yourself, right? That consciousness of self, the vagus nerve. And I've gone through some stressful moments lately. And you know what I've been doing to right myself? I've been humming. I've been humming. And that's that deep throat hum. It's the deep throat hum. And that, from what I understand and what I feel, now that's the thing, is I've heard something on the outside and I checked it out to be on the inside, and it felt right to me. And I noticed that I am vibrating at a different mode. So when something has been stressful for me, right? Like a negative conversation, or things have been stressful. Like I got in the car today after my morning of whatever it was, being shorthanded. I hummed for a few minutes, writing myself. And another thing that I was asking was, is that I was talking to the universe, asking, how can I get breath in my body a little differently? Because I've heard of people who have been, and breath is very important for self-preservation and centering ourselves, right? And I've heard the Breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold till 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then let go, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I was listening to one of my weird conversation or podcasts or stories on YouTube where I like to listen to some of those mafia bosses or the werewolf or the vampire or whatever you want to call them, right? And she was saying that it came out of being abused. This woman was abused by her mother-in-law or her aunt, but she counted to 4. Breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Breath out, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know what? I started doing the 4, and it's in rhythm with me, right? Some people can breathe to 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But I noticed going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 in, 1, 2, 3, 4 out. 1, 2, 3, 4 in. That my breath coming in was deeper by the second or the third one. 1, 2, 3, 4 out. My breath was deeper expelling. But it was in rhythm with me. I wasn't getting lightheaded. I didn't have to hold my breath. I didn't have to be out of rhythm. I was in rhythm with myself. Now, I might go to 5 after I go to 4 for a few minutes, doing the number 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have a longer breath state of mind. But I don't know if I'd want to go to 6, right? It would get out of rhythm with me. And that's the thing is right now we're having so much stress, so much negotiations on ourselves right now that we are needing and called to do better with our bodies. And breath replenishes the body. So remembering that as you go forward, that as I'm talking just as much about your inner world, but this is negotiating the outer world, right? That outer world story that we can negotiate. So when we're in our life, are we our outer world? Yes and no. Are we our inner world? Yes and no. We're not our thoughts, but we are our thoughts. We are not our breath, but we are our breath. Are we our government? Yes, we are. Are we not our government? No, we're not. Right? It's that process of knowing that we don't have, and that's the thing is that there's things that we are knowing now, right? We're knowing now. We didn't know 2 years ago. If it didn't bother me 2 years ago because I didn't know about it, now it's bothering me because I know about it. Why am I letting it control me? Yes, we can do something about it, right? No King's Day. If you went to it, yay for you. I couldn't go to it. It just didn't work into my schedule, right? But I sent prayers and I sent, energy towards whatever it was supposed to be, right? Because it's not necessarily that I believe that somebody is bad or good. I just don't like some of the things that is being played out, right? And there's different people there for a different reason. I'm not being political, I just want the greater good to happen, right? I don't care if you voted for somebody or not voted for somebody. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for, but at the same time though, we are all in the midst of how can we make this world a better place, right? Because if you weren't, you wouldn't be watching me or listening to me later, right? So going into this, if you want to come out of this reality, out of this world, out of these full moon, new moons, energy reactions and stuff, is how do you find center in yourself no matter where you're at, which is basically being okay with what you're doing and who you are. I'm okay being feeling a little tired today. Like I think it was last show or the show before I talked about language, right? Be careful of how you feel, or I know I'm tired, or I feel I'm tired. There is a big difference in your realities when you're walking that way, right? So if you are feeling a little discombobulated, I'm feeling centered in where I'm discombobulated. If I'm feeling a little of higher energy, then where am I going to be centered in that higher energy? Centered means I know myself, I'm okay with myself, I'm loving myself, I'm No expectations on myself. I'm just doing what I'm doing. It's kind of like today I was walking, going to get something. And I went, whoa, I just squirreled, didn't I? Okay, coming back to it. I was centered in myself. I didn't judge it. I just walked with it. So being okay with yourself, that's part of being centered and loving yourself through it. Because as we have wisdom and as we enjoy our life and as we negotiate our world, the more we can be okay with ourselves, the less the outer world will affect us. And yes, I don't watch the news very often. I don't play the games of the reality. If I hear something that the government's doing, like bombings and all that kind of stuff, I send a lot of love. I send a lot of love. And going forward in our realities, you know, we're going to have this split of dimensions and realities. And I don't know if you felt this after the equinox. Well, I felt it before, but are you feeling like you don't know what day it is? Are you feeling like you don't know what time it is? Are you feeling like a minute goes so fast and an hour goes so slow, even though the hour is full of minutes? So with that, the time is shifting right now. We're in a big shift of our reality. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't start seeing more star beings landing, uncloaking earlier or later as they get closer to this planet, because we're starting to get. And I know, Paula, we were talking, and you were saying on the equinox or the eclipse. Was it the eclipse or the equinox that you were saying that it was a very powerful time of seeing? You're out in the middle of nowhere, so you're seeing a lot of things. You're seeing them uncloaking closer to the earth, right? So going into this, that we are in this big shift up. But that's what's going to have to make this planet do better and help our planet do better, is the more that they are involved with our world. Because the more that they're involved with our world, the more that the darkness, the beings of darkness that have taken over and have been a part of our government for so many years, I believe that, and I believe that, not, you don't have to believe it if you don't want to, that as we're walking into this darkness, it's like we can only meet people where we're at, right? We can level up to a star being, but it's going to take us a minute to get there because we're not at that level. We're used to dealing with, if we're used to dealing with adults, we're dealing at that vibration. So it's going to take us a minute to get to their vibration. But the thing is, though, they're already at that vibration of doing with that consciousness. So I'm asking them to help us out, because this darkness is not helping us negotiate our world. And we're here, chose as souls to be on this planet at a certain time to help with this evolution. For those who are awake right now, who have been awake for quite a while, we are here to help pivot this reality. Because without us having a higher understanding, then people aren't going to be able to move to that higher understanding. So be your higher self. Doesn't need to be perfect. Doesn't mean that you don't sit on the couch exhausted and tired, right? It means that you are centered where you're at. You are fine with yourself wherever you're at. That if the full moon is really wonking you out, then give yourself that grace. If you finally have energy that you've not had for a long time, then be centered in that. Because I can tell you right now, with a lot of planetary shifts right now, with this full moon in Libra, which is about the scales, right and wrong, right? And as we move into our reality, that things are going to be for the better. But we have to get there first. We have to drive there first. We have to negotiate the realities first. And that means that we're still in the 3D body realm, right? We still have to eat, we still have to negotiate, we still have to be, right? And I can tell you when meat is not of the right meat, my body does not like it. So when you're buying your meat, when you're buying this food of yours, remember to look at what it is, because sometimes it will say bio made or whatever it's called, right? So look at your meat. See if it is real meat or real reality. I'm not a conspiracist. I've seen it. You can tell when you cut into it. So believe in you. Yes, humming and toning is such a helpful tool. Yes, it is. It is so I mean, it's just amazing. And then I took an Epsom salt bath because my shoulders last week I had a migraine and my shoulders get really affected by that. And I get a lot of I went to the chiropractor on Monday, so I'm a lot better now. I can hold my arms up without them going, huh. So with that, I got blood to the brain, I got blood to the body, right? But it takes a little while for this body to negotiate. But doing the breath work is getting oxygen to places that don't really get it normally, right? That humming is vibrating things that needed to be less stagnant. So believe in what you're doing, be where you need to be, and love yourself while you're there, because that's the difference. And the more we say, I matter, I am me, I am who I'm meant to be, the more that the darkness cannot take us over. Right? The more that the darkness can't take it over. We're in the midst of this big change. Honor where you're at, honor who you are, and be proactive. Surrender, trust, accept, and be proactive so that we can be who we're meant to be, right? Be who we're meant to be. Trust what's happening inside you and around you. Whew, that's kind of hard with the government, right? Accept that things aren't going to be perfect, right? Things are not going to be perfect. Except that where we're at is in a weird place, sometimes very dysfunctional, right? So trust, accept, surrender. Surrender to the greater good. Surrender that I have no power over it, right? We can't, the government's going to do what it's going to do, but I'm going to surrender that I know that I can do it, but I'm going to be proactive. Actually, I should be trust, surrender, and accept, and be proactive. The first finger, right? Be proactive. Be proactive in doing what you need to do. Make the phone calls when you need to make the phone calls. Stand out on the curb when you need to stand out on the curb. Do those things that you need to do to be proactive. Say yes when you need to say yes and no when you need to say no. Because it's about us coming together so we can work together. Right? Working together. How can we work together? And that's the whole skills of life, right? The whole skills of life. And as I'm talking here, I've been asking who wants to come and talk. Oh, you know who we haven't heard from a long time? Johsapher. We haven't heard from Johsapher in a long time. Wow. Yeah, he is an ancient being who's been around on this planet for a long time. He has been a monk. He has been he's been part of the Catholic religion. He has been part of because I see him in the bishop. There we go. That's the word. He has been in very palatable, powerful places at certain times to bring the better good out, he says. He says that I've been on this planet when there has been very big pivotal moments, like now, and that's why he's choosing to come in now. Okay. So as I channel, I want you to remember that your truth is your truth. I'm a perspective. If you need to, just listen to the words uh, and um, and see what is being said. Put things in your back pocket. Listen to it for a little while. Afterwards, I'll be pulling some oracle cards to support in the life journey. That's funny. I pulled out the horse, and it's the year of the horse. Um, and so going into this, that I don't do a full body channel. I am still here a little bit, but I do get out of the way enough for them to take over and have a conversation. So Jehoshaphat. Oh, I was wondering when he was popping up again. Okay. There we go. Hello, it is so good to see you again and be with you again. You have been doing so many travelings through your realities and understandings. The blessings of this world right now is about teaching you, showing you that you matter. You matter because you think of you as mattering. The more that the outer world thinks of you as not important, it is very important for you to know that you are. The only way that you can be important, no matter what the outer world says, is about you knowing you are, looking in the mirror, looking in your reality, looking at how you get up in the morning. Do you care about yourself when you get up? Do you do those little moments to help you shine in your day? Do you matter when you look in the mirror? Or do you just beautify yourself as you get out of bed and get ready for your day? Do you think about how you drive down the road, or do you just drive down the road? Do you think about how you have conversations with the person at the right time, at the right moment, and you get called to do what you do when you do it? Do you know why you go to the store at a certain time? Maybe not. But then that sync part of that, the sync of the universe, the sync, the S-I, oh, the spelling, the sync. Oh, there we go. SYNC, the sync of things. The sync of the realities of your life is about being in the right time at the right place, because you are coming into a time where the synchronicity of your reality is going to make sure that you are doing what you need to do when you're doing it. So if you get that scratch, that itch, that moment of thinking, I need to do something, let it happen. Like this dear one. I loved how this came about with her. Her coworker gave her some fortune cookies. She loves fortune cookies. She loves that surprise in the middle. Isn't that fun? And there was one that says, joyful time to the north will bring joyfulness, or something like that. What popped in her head? To visit some friends that she has not seen in over a year. So what are they going to do next Monday? Her and her husband? Go see some dear friends that have been missing them too. So you never know when the little bump is pushing you to do something. But there is that process. Remember how this dear one was saying to trust, surrender, and accept the world around you, right? She trusted that they weren't going to be traveling down to New Mexico. She trusted that they weren't going to be traveling to the Eastern Washington where they thought they were going to go with some other friends. They surrendered to the picture that they didn't know quite what to do, right? Oops, sorry, wrong finger. They didn't understand what they were going to do, right? They trust, surrendered, and accepted that the journey was not laid out yet. But when they found out that things can happen, they were proactive and went. And they are doing what they need to do with communication and story to move forward in their reality. So as you go forward, remember it takes all the pieces of the puzzle to move forward in your reality. Sometimes you have to trust that you don't know the answer right now, and you don't like what you're seeing in the realities around you, and you have those prayers, right? That's being proactive. You surrender to the moment that you are powerless over the greater good, the greaterness of what is happening, right? Because you cannot do what you need to do, but you can send love where you can send it, right? And acceptance. Sometimes that's a second. The acceptance of the realities is just sometimes 1 second of this really sucks. Accepting that. And yet, what can move on and move different? Be proactive. Be proactive in that understanding. I am using the same language that this dear one uses because who gives it to her? Who gives her these downloads of trust, surrender, accept, and be proactive? Us, her helpers, her negotiations of this reality. Because she trusts, surrenders, and accepts to the messages we give her so she can be proactive and help you. When you are going forward, you are not the reality around you, but you are the reality with you. So how do you negotiate that? How do you love that dance that you're in? How do you be? Like this dear one today was found out that the 2 people weren't going to be there today. So it was going to be a day. But what did she text the friend that was going to be with her, who's doing the job with her? Looks like we're going to have some negotiations today. May they be blessings with that negotiation. Did she went, oh, we're going to have a screwed up day? No. She chose to have blessings in that moment. The understanding in that moment. The understanding of the love that there is. So believe in where you're at and believe in who you are because you matter. You chose to be here on this planet at this time in your soul's walk to do what you were meant to do. This planet has done many shifts and changes like this one. This is the highest evolution that it has come into in this line of the earth humans. There has been other times where this planet has come from this big shift, but it has been in different lines of understanding as a physical being. Some were not as physical. Some were more physical. This is the first time it's come in as a human race doing the walk. It is a little bit thicker, a little bit more dense. It's a little bit less etherical and more emotional. That's why it is negotiating the way it is. There are many emotions out there. Whose emotions are you? Check in with that. Sometimes we're other people's emotions. We don't need to be others. We can be ourselves, especially if you're living with somebody. Check in to see whose emotions you are. You don't have to be somebody else's. You are yours. And that's where that comes in. That vibrates at only your vibration. That vibrates at only yours. You sound different than this, dear one. Because this is hers and yours is yours. No one else can be your vibration. So clear out other people, especially of this area of the body, that energy of the thyroid and the glands and the throat. Many times we speak other people's truths because they are in our throat center, which actually comes down into the heart center, which then comes down into the gut center, which is another mind, which comes down to the digestive system, which is another mind, right? So come into your futility of who you are and know that no matter where you're at and what you're doing, you are empowered to be the light that you are. So believe in you, because you are a magical being of the light of the spirit of love. So be the light of the spirit of love. Does not mean that you are perfect all the time or on all the time. But you can be the spirit of love no matter when you are where you're at. That again, as this dear one was talking about today, about being centered in yourself. Find love and compassion. You are the blessing you are and the magic that you are. And it's time to believe in who you are. So be. I am Johsapher, guardian of the knowledge of the ancient time, to be on this planet at this time. So be. Whew. Wow. I haven't channeled him in a long time. He has a different, he's a denser, not darker, but denser vibration than like Mikhail. He's been on this planet before, so he knows about being in the physical. So I can tell that in his energy field. That was neat. That was neat to hear him. Oh, great message. Love the channeling. Thank you, guys. Oh, yay. I'm so glad. So glad that was good. Okay, so I'm going to be pulling some oracle cards. I am going to be doing the Wisdom of the Avalon cards right now because they're the easiest for me to negotiate. And so, yeah, I think the other ones are speaking up, but I think that these are the ones that I'm being called to do right now. Okay. So, oh, you would like a card. Oh, Paula, you would love a card too. Okay, so Paula, this one's for you. Anybody else who would like a card, please let me know. I have a few minutes here. I can do it. So when we do a card, remembering that if I pull a card for somebody and it resonates with you and you didn't ask for a card, these cards are universal. And sometimes the messages are universal. We're all going through something. So if you are negotiating something, so just remembering that, and if you're listening to this later on the podcast and it does negotiate with you too, please remember the cards aren't specific, but I am specifically pulling for somebody, kind of like the heat and the fire, right? It's like sometimes the message is specifically for the person, the fire and the heat going together, but then you get the heat from the room because the heater. So you might be the extra person, right? So that's kind of how it works, right? Okay, so Paula, you're first. So when you're asking for a card, please put out the intention of what is the message to be. Woo! So Paula, I think that you have a message here. And it might not always be one card. Okay, so okay. Woo. Partnership and deer. Okay, so I'm going to ask what card needs to come first. Okay, so it's coming this way. Okay. So communication. Communication is really important for you right now, my dear. Paula, that we talked a lot about this a little bit yesterday. So it's kind of that same theme that we were talking about. It's really time for you to have your voice. It's time for you to come out and have a voice. It's time for you to put all those worries and all those old stories behind and have communication, because the disruption that you're feeling right now is part of that understanding that you need to start speaking up for what you want, where you're going with this. But you need to speak up in other ways. You are a voice from the universe, right? Because the horse energy is going to pull you along. Remember how wild horses go? They go to the greater good. They go to the grass. They go to the better water. They know, but the mare knows where to go. The mare leads the herd, right? And the mare wants to lead you to that greater good of your greater voice, because it's called partnership, working together, as the deer wants you to still be gentle with yourself. But understand, you need to trust your instincts. You'll know where to go and have a voice, and you'll know where not to go and not have a voice, right? So follow that instinct that you have, because it's all about gentleness. But remembering that if you notice that the posts were all basically the same, so it depends on what messages you are walking down the path. So remembering it's all about perception and perspective when you're walking down certain paths. Okay? So if you are interested in numbers, so the deer was 22, the horse was 26, which is 8, and 22 is 4, but that's a magical number with the deer. 32, which is a 5 for the partnership. Communication was a 4 plus 1, which is a 5, 41. And 39 is disruption. So that's a 12, which is a 3. So disruption, right? Disruption always can lead to balance and being blessed. So remembering that, ask for the wisdom to come. When Shiva is dancing in our story of breaking us down into out of our old patterns, what can create is new patterns of love and kindness. Okay, so I hope that helps, Paula. Okay, Veronica, your time now. Woo! Okay, there's one. There's another one coming. Woo! Okay. So this is for you, Veronica. Okay. So Veronica. Oh, I like this. I like this. I like this. I like this. Okay. So knowledge and healing is your snake energy, right? We had the year of the snake last year. So you went through a lot of gathering of knowledge in the year of the snake, the Chinese year of the snake. You went through a great understanding of who you are and discerning what you wanted to do, right? So it's about getting a bigger vision, and it's understanding that you need to use your instincts, your skills. What are you smelling? What are you tasting? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? What are you negotiating? What feels right? What negotiation are you, right? Because it's about the tree snake, right? But that's showing in this picture, but it's about believing that you can be where you need to be. You don't have to stay grounded on the ground. And as I didn't hit him. I ran over a gardener snake the other day. What a great message of shedding the old skin, because we can't stand in fear of what we're going to be doing. Right? We can't stand in the fear. You're going to be making that big transition that you texted me with, right? That big transition. But we cannot stand in fear. It's about acknowledge it, because we're digesting the nourishment of our life. What are we nourishing? What are we doing? And I'm keep hearing for you, Veronica. If you can stick it out just another week or two, that will be a blessing. Don't wait till the final end of the company, but wait for things to get a little bit more, because you can't go back, right? You can't go back. So just wait a few more minutes in time to negotiate through a couple more things that are popping up for you. It's more about you being comfortable with you, not necessarily what's going on in the household, right? So what are you digesting? What is your nourishing? What are you asking? What are you receiving? What are you blessed with? Because it's all about perception. With who are you loyal to? What are you loyal to? What are you loyal to in your mind? What are you loyal to in your mindset? What are you loyal to in your relationship with yourself? What are you loyal to? right? So be careful of what you're loyal to in the sense of negotiating the perceptions of your life while you're nourishing what you're nourishing, because it's not time to stand in fear of the realities around you. It's time to climb up and be and get to where you need to go to despite your limitations, right? Okay, so I hope that helps, my dear. You're amazing. You're amazing. Okay, Dina, thank you for being here. I'm so grateful you're here. So Dina, ooh, there's some powerful cards that were coming forward. Okay, I'm going to be going just a few more minutes here, Dina, for you. Woo! There's that card again. Oh, no, that's a new card. I thought it was another one. Woo! Mm-hmm. Okay. Woo! Okay. There we go. That's something to pop up. Okay. Let's see. That's another one here. This is for Dina. What else needs to happen for Dina? Is there anything else? This one? Yes. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Is there any more? The top card. Okay. And the bottom card. Oh, okay. Okay. So, boy, everybody's cards are just been so good with a lot of information. Okay, so the first card that popped out was love. You are so loved. You are loved. You are going to be loved. Things are loving around you, but you have to believe that there is love around you, because the greater vision of what you're getting with the eagle's view is so much more coming towards you. You're getting so much more coming towards you. Your family's going to be okay. Life is going to be okay. And so spirit, integrity, connection to the angelic realm, right? So you have the protection because you have love, right? Because the protection that you have is so beyond what our reality is, right? Our reality is, because the transformation that you're going through is so big right now that you're magically being going forward, but it's about being trusting. It's about being trusting in yourself, because what was the story, right? Trust, accept, and surrender, so you can be proactive. So trust where you're at, because the transformation you're going through is going to be worth it, because you have protection from the bigger vision, because they love you. I can't make this up. Isn't that amazing how the story goes the same going one way, but then it goes smoother going back, right? So it's about the bigger picture of where you're at. So if you want to do numbers, so trust is 17, butterfly is 25, the protection is 3 plus 8, 38, plus, so 38. And then 9 is the eagle, and 45, which is a 9, which is love, right? Big, 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 big. We're in a big time, right? Oh, because it's all about the environment that you're in. So frog was the last card, was the end of the deck. So frog is about cleansing house, releasing emotional baggage. Our environment matters. Our reality matters. Our mindset matters. Our body, the food we eat matters, right? Who we are matters. It's time to move, even if it's moving a little bit, right? Those smaller muscles make a big difference. I've been standing on one foot so that I strengthen my gut, right? So believe in who you're doing and who you are, because things matter. Things matter. So environment. I hope everybody finds blessings. Remember, I'm available for sessions. I have openings from in my timeline for sessions if you need a little assistance walking through what you're going through. And life is about this moment. Whoo! And it's not always easy to trust, and it's not always easy to accept. It's not always easy to surrender, but we can be proactive in no matter where we're at. So, oh, Kimberly, yes, I can do a card for you real quick. Yes, I can do a card for you. Sorry, I was kind of getting down to that time. Wow, working on trust. Thank you so much. You're more than welcome. Okay, so Kimberly. Love you too. Woo! 1, 2. What's this? What's this? What's this? Where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Just Kimberly. Woo! Did you see that fly out? Okay. Okay. So here we go. I guess Earth Fairy wants to come first. She flew out. So, Kimberly, this is for you. So, Earth Fairy, physical health, grounding, and foundation. So that's a 9. So what is she doing? She is knowing her boundaries. She is knowing who she is. She's knowing what's going on, right? She is trusting herself. She is grounded in her earthness. What is the difference between a butterfly and a moth? A moth has less colors, it's less flamboyant, but it knows it's just as beautiful and does what it needs to do because it knows its instincts. The cat energy is with you, right? You have a lot of cat energy with you, Kimberly, right? And going through that negotiation with your feral buddy there, and I'm hoping and praying that things are going graceful with that. That the independence and healthy boundaries, right? Healthy boundaries. Look at her boundaries in this picture. So the healthy boundaries, because it's time to trust where you're at and what's going on, because we don't always know what's going to happen. As the eagle is saying, get the bigger vision, because you are so loved. You are so loved. You are so loved. Because love will make a difference in your life, especially when you believe it for yourself. Because as the greater vision is coming to you, because you're trusting in the bigger picture, you'll have the boundaries and the independence to be here on the earth plane while you're walking forward. May love be with everyone. May you know that you're loved. May that the magic of the world be with you. And remembering what you're talking about when you first wake up and when you're going to sleep, those are key points that you're in between the ethers and the realities. So those are key moments to have better thoughts and better intentions. And then as you're walking through your day, make sure that you believe in who you are and what the dance of your reality is, and believing that the magic is here. It's just the darkness wants to have us not believe in it, right? I'm Natasha Venter, intuitiveclarifications.com. I hope that my short little videos are helping you. You can find them on all social media except for Facebook. And remembering, no matter where you're at and what you're doing, life is here. Please like this video. Please share this video if you know somebody can use it. And please remember that if you want to subscribe to this YouTube channel, there are many videos. And I love how I've been having some older videos being watched, because they're just as important and valid as they are today. Talking about full moons. It doesn't matter what full moon. A lot of them have the same kind of that energy and tension. And sometimes it's the basic, that smaller, the lower, that going back to the basics energy can help us negotiate the bigger energies that we're in. That's being centered in ourselves. So blessings. Thank you. You're amazing too. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. May love and life be with you all. And thank you for being here with me and supporting me and knowing that this is the time for magic. It really is. Whew. There's some big transitions going on. And this Aries energy, it's fire. So if you're feeling that rev up and you're not feeling patient with yourself, remembering that this is a journey. So like a racehorse or a cross-country race, right? The starting gate, we're going to go fast, but remember it's a journey. So pace yourself. Pace yourself. Life is here. What are we going to do with it? Blessed be to you. I'm Natasha Venter, intuitiveclarifications.com, enjoying life right now as much as I can in the realities we're in. But it's all about personal joy. Bye now. Blessed be. Happy full moon.